Hi everyone, welcome to IamLogic, an identity governance and administration platform. This video will quickly demonstrate how IamLogic's just-in-time access works and how it helps prevent over-provisioning. We will see how employees can request access to specific applications like AWS with only the necessary permissions for their job and for a limited period of time. You will also see how these just-in-time access requests go through an approval workflow. Before jumping into the demonstration, let's talk about the problem of standing accounts. So what are standing accounts? These are accounts or permissions that remain active even when they are not being used. For example, imagine a developer requests access to AWS console to complete a specific task. They finish the work, but the access stays open for months. This unused access can be forgotten, misused, or even exploited. This is exactly what we call a standing account, and it increases the attack surface. Just-in-time access helps solve this problem. It gives access only when needed for a limited time. After the task is done, permissions are automatically removed. This keeps things secure, clean, and minimizes risk. Let us walk through a simple scenario to demonstrate how just-in-time access works. We have an employee named Karan. His manager Arjun assigns him a task to deploy some APIs in AWS using API Gateway. But Karan does not have the necessary AWS access. So he logs into the IamLogic IGA console and creates an access request. This request is a way for users to ask for access to certain applications or permissions. In this case, Karan requests a role called Cloud API Admin. This role includes everything he requires, like access to an AWS account, API Gateway Administrator, and Lambda full access policies. Since this is a just-in-time access, Karan sets the exact time window from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on July 27th. He only needs access for those 2 hours. Once the request is submitted, it goes through an approval workflow. First, his manager Arjun reviews and approves it. Then it goes to the AWS application owner Rajesh, who also approves it. Now the IGA system waits until 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., it automatically provisions the requested access. Karan can now log into the AWS and do his job. At 12 p.m., the system deprovisions the access. After that, if Karan tries to use those permissions again, access will be denied. This is a simple example of just-in-time access, granted only when needed for a specific task and automatically removed afterward. No standing accounts, no extra risk. Now let us jump into the actual demo. Let us start with Karan creating an access request. Karan logs into the LGA portal using his credentials. From the navigation menu, he clicks on Access Request. To create a new request, he clicks the Add button. He enters a reference name, for example, need AWS Cloud API access for Karan. Since Karan is requesting access for himself, he selects his own name under requested for. Next, Karan needs a role that includes the right AWS permissions for completing his job. He selects the option Assigned Role and click on Next. The IGA system now displays a list of available roles that can be assigned to Karan. Karan selects the role Cloud API Admin role. This role includes all the permissions he needs. Now let's take a quick look at this role to understand it better. I'll now open the Cloud API Admin role details. Let's go to the Applications tab. Here we can see one application listed, AWS application. Keep in mind, your role can include access to more than one application also. Next, we will open the Permissions tab. Here we can see 2 permissions, Amazon API Gateway Administrator and AWS Lambda Full Access. So, your role is simply a bundle of application access and permissions grouped together. So, this bundle or this role can be given to any person, okay, and that person will get all the access and entitlements bundled in that role. Now, let us continue with the flow. Karan selects the Cloud API Admin role and he clicks on Submit. The IGA system now asks for the just-in-time access window. In this case, Karan needs access for 2 hours to complete his task. So now Karan enters the start and end time of his activity in AWS console. Let's say he specifies from 20 to 22. That's nothing but from 8 PM to 10 PM. He'll be having 2-hour window to complete his activity in AWS. So now he clicks on submit. Now let's open the access request created by Karan. Looking at the approval status, we can see it is currently waiting for approval from Arjun, who is Karan's manager. So the next step is for Arjun to review and approve this access request. Karan's manager Arjun receives an email notification for the access request approval. He clicks the link in the email and signs into the IGA console. Here, Arjun can review all the key information, like, who made the request, the type of request, whether it is just in time or it is a permanent access, the start and end times, and the total duration of the just in time request. So after reviewing all these details, Arjun clicks approve. The request now moves to the second level approver Rajesh, who also need to approve the same. The AWS application owner, Rajesh, also receives an email notification for the access request approval. He clicks the link in the email, signs into the IGA console, and reviews all the request details. After confirming everything is correct, Rajesh clicks on approve button. Now let's say Karan wants to check the status of his access request. He signs into the IGA console. And opens the access request he created. He can see that the approval status is now complete. Both the approvers have approved it. We can see both Arjun and Rajesh has given the approval. However, if you look at the provisioning status, it is still not updated. That's because with just-in-time access, the system waits until the specified start time before provisioning the access. In this case, it will only be activated at the scheduled time, that is 8 PM. We just need to wait until the scheduled start time 8 PM for the access to be provisioned. After 8 PM, Karan checks his access request again in the IGA console. He can now see that the provisioning status is success, meaning the access is active. He can also verify this by visiting his profile section in the IGA console. Under Applications tab, he can see the AWS application is assigned to him. In the Permissions tab, he can view the AWS policies he needs for completing his job. Also under the Role tab, he can view that Cloud API admin role is assigned. At this point, Karan can log into the AWS and carry out his task. Also at 8 PM, Karan receives an email containing the initial login credentials and the AWS console URL. Karan clicks the AWS URL and enters the credentials he received. Since this is a temporary one-time password, AWS prompts Karan to change the password. Karan changes the password and successfully sign into the AWS. So Karan can now able to carry out his task of deploying APIs in the AWS console. Also, to confirm the permissions are properly provisioned, I'll sign into the AWS console as an administrator. Let's navigate to IAM users and search for Karan. Let's open Karan's account. Under the permissions tab, we can see AWS API Gateway Administrator and AWS Lambda Full Access. So both the permissions are properly assigned. The next step is to observe what happens after the JIT provisioning end time. The IGA system will automatically remove the access at the JIT provisioning end time. At 10 p.m., Karan can see that the IGA system has automatically created an access request to revoke the role that was previously assigned. We can also see this remove permission request is executed immediately, just 8 seconds after, by the LGA system. To confirm this, Karan attempts to sign into the AWS console after 10 p.m. Obviously, the access is denied because his just-in-time approval window has expired. The final step is to verify that all the above operations were captured in the audit trail, as this is very essential for meeting compliance and auditing purposes. Let's see how Suresh, the IGA system administrator, wants to verify the transactions for the identity correct. Suresh signs into the IGA console. He selects the option Identity History Report from the navigation menu. He can filter by identity, resource type, and resource name. Identity is current, and the resource type is role, and the role we are dealing is Cloud API admin role. He can see an assigned role entry for identity current with the Cloud API admin role, and the status is successful. By opening more details, he can also see important details like when this access was provisioned and all the people who approved it. He can also see an unassigned role entry with all the relevant data for auditing purposes. Alright, we have just seen a simple demonstration of how just-in-time access works in the IamLogic IGA platform. Apart from just-in-time provisioning, the IamLogic IGA solution also supports the following features: automated joiner mover lever, access certification campaigns, segregation of duties or policy management, role mining, identity or account aggregation and correlation, Python-based connector framework for application integration, ticketing system integration, and IamLogic can be deployed as an on-premise or SaaS application. Please feel free to comment or reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you are interested in a complete demo of the application or a proof of concept, please reach out to us. Thank you.